span may have been short lived, but the message it sent is crystal clear. If you're not building a community you control, you're playing a dangerous game. And let's be real, that game is rigged. Algorithms change, platforms disappear, and suddenly you're left scrambling to reconnect with your audience. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way. Imagine having a space where your audience isn't just scrolling past your content, but engaging deeply in a place you own. A space that doesn't vanish overnight because of a new law, a platform's sudden shutdown, or a rogue algorithm. That's not just wishful thinking, it's completely doable. And today, I'm going to show you how. The recent TikTok ban, yes, it's been reinstated for now, sparked a much needed conversation about how much control we really have over our audiences on social media. Spoiler alert, not much. But don't worry, I'm not here to tell you to delete your Instagram account or boycott TikTok. Instead, we're going to talk about future proofing your audience by building spaces you own, whether that's a private community on a platform like Circle or starting with something simpler like a newsletter list. So grab your coffee, sweet tea, or whatever keeps you fueled. Let's dive in. Hey there, I'm Rachel Starr, ex-wedding planner and recovering people pleaser turned your community strategist. And not too long ago, I felt a bit like Angela, planning a Dunder Mifflin party, trying to make things perfect, yet wondering if people would actually show up and enjoy themselves. That's when I discovered the real game changer, community building. It's the key ingredient to everything. Whether you're launching your next course, growing a podcast, or creating a space where people want to connect and engage. Each week, we'll roll up our sleeves and dive into the essentials of community building, from virtual events and workshop planning to fresh, innovative strategies for fostering real connections, all without the party planning community drama. Whether you're just getting started or ready to level up, you'll find practical tips, expert interviews, and real-world insights to help you craft a community that fuels your next big move. So if you're ready to get inspired and transform the way you build connections, you're in the right place, friends. Let's dive in and master the art of community together. Welcome back to your Community Strategist podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Starr, and I am over the moon excited to talk all things about building a community that's all yours and not on rented space. So let's dive in. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and even Facebook, remember that old thing, are amazing for visibility. They're like the megaphones of the online world, letting you reach massive audiences, share your expertise, and connect with like-minded people from all corners of the globe. It's fast, it's fun, and honestly, it's a little addictive. But here's the kicker. You don't own those audiences. Social media gives you the illusion of control, your follower count, your engagement rates, your DMs. But at the end of the day, you're playing on rented land. Let's break this down. Platforms change constantly. Have you ever spent hours learning the perfect strategy for Instagram Reels only for the algorithm to shift? Suddenly, those beautiful, perfectly edited videos you poured your heart into are getting buried under a video of someone's cat. And I love cats. And don't even get me started on TikTok. This platform changes trends faster than I can drink a sweet tea. And then there's the bigger risk, platform shutting down or being banned altogether. Case in point, TikTok. When that ban was announced, creators everywhere went into full panic mode. And honestly, I get it. Years of effort, growth, and income tied to one app. That's enough to make anyone sweat. Even though TikTok came back, the disruption itself was a wake up call, and there's still no guarantees at its long term availability. Because here's the reality: when your audience lives exclusively on a platform like TikTok or Instagram, you're essentially renting space in someone else's house. Sure, it might be a trendy loft with great vibes, but you're still at the mercy of the landlord. And if that landlord, be it a government regulation, an algorithm update, or the platform itself, decides to kick you out, well, you're left standing on the curb with nowhere to go. Here's another angle to consider: your relationship with your audience. On social media, your connection to them is, let's call it, superficial. You're shouting into the void and hoping your followers hear you over the noise of influencers, brands, memes, and viral trends. If you lose access to the platform, you lose access to them. No way to reach them, no way to rebuild what you've lost. It's not just the small creators either. This impacts everyone. Big name brands and influencers with millions of followers. If they don't have a plan beyond social media, they're in just as much trouble. So here's the tough love moment. If you're building your business entirely on social media, you're building it on quicksand. It's not a question of if the ground will shift, it's a matter of when. And that's a dangerous game to play. But the good news, you don't have to play that game. There's a way to future proof your audience, your content, and your business. And it starts by owning the space where your community lives. This is where private communities come in. Imagine having a space where you set the rules, you control the content, and you own the relationships with your audience. No landlords, no eviction notices, no waking up to find your engagement tanked because some algorithm decided it was your turn. Platforms like Circle give you the chance to create a thriving, personalized community that's completely yours, no strings attached. Think about it this way: if TikTok disappeared tomorrow, what would you have left? Or how did it feel over the weekend when just that scenario happened? Sure, you might have some fond memories and a couple of videos saved to your phone. But what about all those connections? All that momentum? It's gone. Poof. But a private community, that's a home base. It's like the difference between renting a trendy apartment and owning a house you can customize and grow into. You don't have to ask permission to paint the walls or worry about being asked to leave. It's yours, plain and simple. Now, let me paint a picture of what this looks like. Imagine logging into your community platform and seeing conversations happening between your members, not just with you, but with each other. Someone's asking for advice, another person is sharing their story, and others are jumping in to encourage, brainstorm, and cheer each other on. It's not just engagement, it's connection. And here's why that matters. When you build a private community, it's no longer about you constantly creating content to entertain and inform your audience. It's about facilitating relationships within your audience. When people feel connected to each other, they become invested in the community as a whole. That creates something I like to call community stickiness. They keep coming back because it's their space too. And let's not forget the freedom a private community gives you. On social media platforms, your audience only sees what the algorithm decides to show them. Maybe 10% of your followers, if you're lucky, even see your posts. But in your private community, everyone gets the value you're delivering. You're no longer shouting into a void. You're having real conversations with real people who choose to show up for you. Another thing to consider, monetization. If you're building a business, you need to think about where your revenue is coming from. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok can offer monetization tools, but they're limited and often unpredictable. A private community allows you to offer memberships, courses, exclusive workshops, and events, all without splitting your earnings with a third party platform. And let's not gloss over one of my favorite things about private communities, data. When you own the space, you own the data. You can see what your members are interested in, what they're engaging with, and where they're finding the most value. That insight is gold for building programs, products, or content that actually resonates. Compare that to Instagram, where you're lucky to get a vague impressions metric with zero context. So, whether you're a course creator, a coach, podcast host, a private community isn't just a nice to have, it's the ultimate way to future proof your audience. It's your safety net, your launch pad, and your connection hub all in one. And the best part, you don't have to start big. You don't need 1,000 members or a fancy setup to see the benefits. Start small, maybe a free group for your most engaged followers, or a paid membership for those ready to dive deeper and grow from there. When you build your own community, you're no longer at the mercy of social media platforms. You're in control. And trust me, there's no better feeling than knowing that no matter what happens on TikTok, Instagram, or any other platform, your people have a place to call home. Now, I get it. Launching a private community might feel like a big leap, especially if you're just starting out. Maybe the idea of managing a platform, creating engagement strategies, and keeping people connected feels, well, overwhelming. Or maybe you're worried that you don't have a big enough audience to make it worthwhile yet. And you know what? That's okay. If you're not ready to dive into building a private community, there's still a powerful way to take ownership of your audience. Start with an email list. Here's the deal. Your email list is the foundation of audience ownership. It's like the safety net of your online presence. When you have an email list, you're no longer relying on algorithms or the whims of social media platforms to reach your audience. Your message goes directly to their inboxes, a space they've chosen to let you into. No one's going to ban you from sending emails, and no algorithm will decide whether your message gets buried under cat videos or ads for noise canceling headphones. Ooh, that reminds me, I need to buy a new one. Let me put it this way. If social media is like yelling into a crowded room and hoping people hear you, email is like having a one-on-one conversation over coffee. It's personal, direct, and most importantly, it's yours. Now, let's get tactical. If you don't have an email list, the best way to start is by creating something irresistible, something your audience would trade their email address for without hesitation. This is where lead magnets come in. Think freebies like a downloadable guide or checklist, a mini course that gives them quick wins, or maybe an exclusive podcast episode or behind the scenes content, discount code or free resources, maybe even a free trial to your new membership. Here's an example. Let's say you're a course creator who helps people write their first book. You could create a first chapter blueprint that outlines how to structure and start a killer first chapter. Promote it on social media, and voila, you're building your email list while providing immediate value to your audience. The beauty of a lead magnet is that it doesn't just build your list, It sets the tone for your relationship with your audience. They're already seeing you as a helpful, trusted resource before you even send your first email. Now, once you have people on your list, the key is to nurture those relationships. Don't just collect emails and disappear. Send regular newsletters, whether that's weekly, bi weekly, or monthly, where you share value, insights, or personal stories. Make it feel like a conversation, not a sales pitch. And let's circle back to social media for a second. Yes, social media platforms are great visibility tools, but think of them as funnels. Use your TikTok, your Instagram, or whatever platform you love to direct people into your email list. Post about your lead magnet, add a link in your bio, use stories, reels, or posts to remind people why joining your list is a no brainer. And here's the best part. Once your email list starts to grow, you'll have a direct line of communication with your most engaged audience. And when that time comes to launch that private community or promote a new product, you'll already have an audience that's primed and ready to take action. So, if the thought of launching a private community feels too big right now, start small. Build your email list. It's the simplest, most powerful way to take ownership of your audience and future proof your business. Because whether TikTok gets banned again, Instagram changes its algorithm, or some new platform comes out of nowhere, your email list will always be there. All right, let's roll up our sleeves and get tactical. It's one thing to talk about future proofing your audience, it's another thing to actually do it. So today, I'm breaking it down into 3 simple but powerful steps to help you take control of your audience, whether you're just starting out or already established. Step 1, audit your social media strategy. The first step, take a good hard look at how you're using social media. Ask yourself, am I using platforms primarily for visibility? Or am I relying on them too much for engagement, sales, or connection with my audience? Here's the thing. Social media should be your megaphone, not your home base. If most of your business or community activity is happening exclusively on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, you're walking a tightrope without a safety net. So, what's the shift? Start viewing social media as a tool to drive people to spaces you own, your email list, your private community, or your website. Here's a quick exercise. I want you to write down the top 3 platforms you use most often. Then next to each of those, jot down how you're using them. Are they visibility tools? Are they hosting important community discussions? Then identify ways you can start redirecting your audience towards spaces you control. For example, every Instagram post should include a call to action, a CTA, to join your email list or check out your private community. Remember, social media is the party, not the house. Show up, make an impression, and then invite people to take a place where the connection can grow deeper inside your house. Step 2, build your email list. If you don't have an email list yet, this is your sign to start right now. An email list is like your digital insurance policy. It ensures that no matter what happens on social media, you'll always have a way to reach your people. Start by creating a lead magnet. Think of this as a juicy freebie that's so valuable, your audience can't help but sign up. Maybe it's a downloadable guide like a 5 steps to kickstart your podcast. Or maybe it's a mini course like how to outline your first workshop in 30 minutes. Or maybe an exclusive piece of content like a bonus podcast episode or behind the scenes video. Once you have your lead magnet, use a tool like Flowdesk or Kit or MailChimp to set up your list. These platforms make it easy to create beautiful automated sign up forms and emails. And here's the key: don't just build your list, nurture it. Send regular emails packed with value, whether that's actionable tips, personal insights, or updates about what's going on in your world. And don't forget, social media can be your biggest ally in building your list. Use stories and reels, posts, and even live videos to talk about your freebies. Put the link everywhere: your bio, your post, your DMs. Make it impossible for someone to say, I didn't know you had a free guide. Now, step 3, consider a private community. If you're ready to take things to the next level, it might be time to launch a private community. Platforms like Circle make this easier than ever. And let me tell you, you don't have to have a massive audience or a detailed plan to start. Start small. Maybe it's a free group for your most engaged audience members, your super fans who are always in your DMs or commenting on your posts. Or if you're ready to monetize, offer a paid membership with that exclusive content, workshops, or behind the scenes access. One of the best things about private communities is the control they give you. You decide the rules, you set the tone, and you create a space where your audience can connect, not just with you, but with each other. That's the magic. When your community starts to feel like a second home for your members, it becomes something they don't want to leave. And if you're worried about the tech side, don't be. Platforms like Circle are designed to make it as simple as possible to get started. Plus, once you're up and running, you can always tweak and grow as you go. Here's the big takeaway: social media is great, really great. It's like the front door to your business, the place where people discover you, connect with your message, and get a taste of what you're all about. But here's the truth: it's just one piece of the puzzle. If you want to future proof your audience and your business, you need more than just a front door. You need a solid foundation. You need spaces that you own. Whether it's a newsletter list, a private community, or both, the goal is the same: create lasting, meaningful connections that don't rely on third-party platforms. Let's just zoom out for a second here. Why did you start your business in the first place? I'm willing to bet it wasn't because you dreamed of staying up late, trying to crack the latest Instagram algorithm, or sweating over whether TikTok will still be in existence in 5 years. You started your business to make an impact, to teach, to inspire, to connect, to help. And let's be honest, you can't make that kind of impact if you're constantly at the mercy of external forces. TikTok's fate, Instagram's latest update, none of that should define your success. What should define it is the connections you've built, the trust you've earned, and the value you continue to deliver, no matter what happens on the latest trending app. Here's something I tell my clients all the time: owning your audience isn't just a strategy, it's peace of mind. Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out that TikTok is actually gone, or that Instagram's algorithm has changed so much that your posts only reach 2% of your followers. If you built spaces you control, you won't have to panic. You'll know that your audience is still with you, reading your emails, engaging in your private community, and staying connected in ways that no platform can take away. And let's not forget, owning your audience isn't just about stability, it's about opportunity. When you control the space, you control the experience. You can customize it to meet your audience's need, create deeper engagement, and even unlock new revenue streams like memberships, courses, or exclusive workshops. So let's stop putting all our eggs in the social media basket. Yes, keep showing up on TikTok, Instagram, or whatever platform works for you, but don't stop there. Use these platforms as tools to bring people into your world, into spaces that you control. Because here's the thing, building something that lasts takes time, effort, and intentionality, but it's worth it. When you create spaces where your audience feels seen, heard, and valued, you're not just building a following, you're building a community, a legacy, something that will outlast trends, bans, and algorithm updates. So, my challenge for you today is this: take one step towards building something that's truly yours, whether that's setting up an email list, brainstorming ideas for a private community, or simply thinking about how you can future proof your audience. Start somewhere. Your future self and your business will thank you for it. All right, friends. That's it for today's episode. I hope this inspired you to rethink your strategy and start taking steps to future proof your audience. Whether you're building your email list, exploring the idea of a private community, or just brainstorming how to get started, remember the key is to take action. And if you're ready for even more tips, I've got something for you. Check out the Quick Tips for Circle Communities YouTube playlist. It's packed with bite-sized videos to help you optimize your Circle community. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, from engagement hacks to setup strategies, it's there to make your life easier. You'll find the link in the show notes, so head over, subscribe, and start exploring. Also, if you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review and share it with someone who needs a little nudge to stop relying so much on TikTok or Instagram. Let's help more creators and coaches take back control of their audiences and build something that truly lasts. Until next time, keep dreaming big, building boldly, and creating communities that thrive. I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.